If you've ever tried to quit using pornography, you might have been surprised to find out that it takes a lot more than just willpower. There's other things that happen and you start to experience withdrawal symptoms, things like irritability, fatigue, insomnia, and even more.
Yeah, and today I'm going to be asking Caleb some of the most important questions that we hear in our practice. And he's an expert in this field, and our goal is to really help you understand what's going on in the brain and in the body and what you can expect as you're on this journey.
And ultimately, we'd like to give you hope and speak to this topic with compassion as well, without adding to shame, but just to help you know that there is freedom, that there is a way to get into a well-established recovery, and to validate that, yes, it's probably going to be a little bit challenging, maybe a lot challenging even, right at the start.
So Caleb, to start with, can you break down what's actually happening in the brain, I guess, when someone is experiencing these withdrawals? Is it actually a physiological thing, or is it just in the head?
Yeah, great question. And it's a little bit complicated to untangle, but as I was thinking about beforehand, I was thinking that one of the simple ways to understand this is just almost explaining it like hunger. There is a sense in which, if you've been using pornography for a long time, you've been feeding your brain something. So it's not just looking at the images, but you've been establishing and I always find this word so hard to say, but I think it's like dopaminergic pathway, something around dopamine pathway in your brain. I never know where the syllables go on that, syllables. But yeah, you've been establishing this thing in your brain. So it's not just looking at the videos or the images of the pornography, but actually building neural pathways. And in that sense, you've been feeding your brain its own neurochemicals in response to this external stimulus, this addiction. And as a result, when you stop the feeding. Now, I like to think of that just because I find it so relatable, unfortunately, when you stop eating food, you get hangry. Well, when your brain stops consuming porn, it's going to get hangry. Right? And I like that idea of representing it that way because, again, it begins to unpack too the other part of this idea, which is that there is an addiction here. There's a compulsion to this thing. And related to that, we do these behaviors for a reason. People get addicted for a reason. They're often trying to medicate something. Now, in the case of ordinary food, you're taking care of hunger, and that's a legitimate fuel that your body needs. This is different in that it's an addiction. So it's extra to what your body needs. But it is in another way, what your body has learned to use to take care of difficult emotions, trauma, attachment, that kind of stuff. And when you stop supplying yourself with that medication, you're going to have withdrawal symptoms like you might from any other drug that was addictive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. For someone watching, what's the actual symptoms they might experience? Or, okay, hang on. They might experience themselves or they might see in their partner. So I'm wondering if we can kind of start with the psychological or the emotional ones.
I actually have a few quotes as we go through this, just from people on the internet that have been sharing their experience of withdrawals, and I just hope that they'll be relatable. I tried to pick ones that pick some of the common themes.
Okay.
So this one individual said, I always just dismissed it as a bad habit. I was completely unprepared for the first few days. The intense mood swings, brain fog, and a deep sense of dread felt eerily similar to what my friend described when he quit smoking. I was shocked that pixels on a screen could have that kind of physical hold on me. Interesting, hey?
Yeah.
And that's part of what we want to do here today is just normalize some of these symptoms. So yeah, you asked about different kinds of...
psychological and emotional?
Yes.
Yeah. The brain fog is definitely part of that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, brain fog. There can be difficulties concentrating. That can be a normal part of withdrawal symptoms as well. What's really interesting to me looking at this topic is sometimes people quit and then they talk about coming out of the brain fog. And they assign the brain fog all the way back to the entire addiction.
Oh,
so part of me wonders if you just become aware of the brain fog.
When you're not medicating it.
When you're not in it all the time. So I don't actually know if the brain fog is part of the withdrawal or part of the addiction that kind of tapers off as you're in the withdrawal phase. But you just start to notice it because you're not distracting yourself with the stimulus.
Yeah.
All the time. But there is brain fog regardless, and people do report a lot of difficulties concentrating as well. We also hear a lot of folks talking about irritability and having a very short fuse and just kind of being on edge or jumpy or easily bothered by stuff. That can be pretty normal coming through this phase in these withdrawals. There's also others that report a lot of anxiety and sometimes even panic, almost like panic disorder. And I have a lot of sympathy for that, again, because if you've been using this thing to take care of difficult emotions and now you're just left with them and you haven't brought in other... Yes.
Sorry.
No. Like you haven't brought in the other things and you're not numbing them. Like you say, you're feeling them all. And if they're scary feelings, of course, anxiety and panic may follow.
Even if they're not, I guess I thought you meant the feeling of fear, but even if it's like sadness or loneliness, it's still scary to feel it.
Yeah.
If I've been medicating it for that long.
Yeah, you could have fear about those feelings.
Yeah.
A feeling about a feeling is possible, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And along the same line as Ferlinda's just mentioned about sadness, like there is that whole side of like depression as well. And often with addiction, there's depression, and often with this addiction as well, various levels of addiction. And this thing has kind of been a spark or a bulb or an escape or some light moment out of that thing. And now you're just left with it. So feelings of depression can really become accentuated here as well in this particular season. And kind of like parallel related or similar, it does, it could be one or the other. Sometimes you'll have this with the depression. Sometimes you'll just have this, is emotional numbness as well. So just like you're not feeling anything. And it's interesting to me because I've seen that sort of scare a lot of guys when they report this. And I guess what I want to say with regards to that is that those feelings do dissipate. Like the numbness is a temporary phase.
Okay.
Like you're still there. You have emotions. The numbness will dissipate, but it's normal to feel it often during the withdrawal phase.
Okay. That would be scary though, because when you're numbing like the hard feelings, you're numbing the good feelings too. And so then you feel like I'm not feeling anything. What's wrong?
Yeah, you don't enjoy your TV shows or your food or... Yeah.
Okay. Are there more emotional symptoms
that
people might experience?
Yeah, for sure. I have another quote actually.
Go for it.
Because I just love these because I can talk about the facts, but when people tell their story, it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
It feels like my brain is screaming for that dopamine hit. It's not even about feeling good. It's about making the intense noise in my head stop. So this is during the withdrawal. I can't concentrate on anything else. It's like living with a constant nagging distraction that drains all of my mental energy.
That's hard.
It is hard. And he may also be describing a little bit of like that white knuckling phase of withdrawing where you just like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And all your energy is going to like, don't do it, the white knuckling. So that definitely comes in there as well. But yeah, there's, that kind of gets some of the brain fog. Another one here, day 3, I have the shortest fuse in the world. My patience is 0. I feel angry for no reason. And the smallest inconvenience makes me want to punch a wall. It's like all my emotions are right at the surface and none of them are good. So
feels like overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah. So there can be a lot going on. And so mood swings are common as well.
Yeah.
Irritability is common as well. A lot of people report social withdrawal too. And I just wanted to speak to that for a sec. Like you feel like isolating. And some people describe the symptoms as like having a flu. So some people then will withdraw. Like they don't want to see anybody because they're just like trying to wrestle this bear to the ground, if you will.
But that's kind of the opposite of what they need in that moment. Like they need the connection.
You need a lot of connection, yeah. But you also often find yourself in a space because, especially if you've been very addicted, you've let friendships go and you haven't been able to keep up with people or that kind of stuff. So then, like, can I reach out? Will they want to hear from me? Adds to feelings of depression. Like, it's a hard spot, this phase. Sometimes kicking these habits is like some of the hardest things people ever do.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they must want it.
That's why you have to have your like intrinsic motivation, that drive that I'm going to get through this. And well, yes, we are listing all these difficult things. We just want you to know that like we can list them because other people have been through them, have described them for us, and they've come out the other side. And you can too.
Yes.
And you're not weird or unique or like this is some kind of like you're being permanently disabled, because when you're in this like on day 3 or day 5 and you're like, is this ever going to stop? It's going to stop. You'll get through it. It will. There is another side to this. So, but you do have to kind of go through the cloud to get back to the sunshine. So,
and I think on here, like the sunshine is going to be better than the addiction.
Yes.
And that's why
yes,
we're saying yeah, it's going to be hard, but
Yeah.
like if we push through this, there is sunshine.
Yeah. Yes. And one of the things that I like to do with my clients is just to help them imagine an ideal future where they're free from this thing. And they're so free from it that they're not even fighting to stop. Like it's just stopped and they have that sense of peace. And if you can tap into that vision, whatever that looks like for yourself, and try to feel it just imagine what it feels like to be in your clothes and in that scene, and smell it, taste it, visualize it, like all of those things, like you're eating good food and you can enjoy it. You're with someone that you appreciate, a good friend or your romantic partner, and you're feeling deeply connected. Like if you can tap into like that vision of what it's going to be like on the other side, or what you want it to be like, you can get there and it will help you through some of these difficult moments. Yeah. So that's kind of all I have on the emotional side, I think.
Okay.
I'm not saying those are all the emotions people might go through, but that's most of what.
The quite common ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm guessing then this goes beyond emotional.
Yeah, there's physical stuff too.
Yeah.
There are physical symptoms. So insomnia, like your sleep can be affected by this as well. Right? And you can imagine how that would interact with the irritability possibly, or the brain fog or concentration, those kinds of things. There can be just like a general sense of fatigue, like tiredness, constant tiredness throughout the day. And then also like there can be like relational aspects to this as well. So increased conflict with your partner, or just emotional distancing because you're just trying to hunker down and get through this thing, either which could create conflict, or feelings of distance, like that can all come into play here. And yeah, so again, the quote I mentioned earlier, I feel like I have the flu, headaches, no energy, and I'm exhausted, but I can't fall asleep. I just feel this general sense of unease and discomfort in my own skin.
Wow.
Yeah. So very real.
Like a man cold. I'm sorry.
That was very invalidating.
Sorry.
Just couldn't resist, could you?
No, I couldn't. It sounds terrible though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those man colds do. Yeah, but no, it's pretty real for sure. And then just to circle back too on the relational side, Verlinda, depending like how your spouse, your partner, girlfriend discovered, there is like the whole side of that as well. So I've seen everything from spouses who have had their own struggles with porn and they're very supportive of their partner being in recovery. And they're like, yeah, I understand. I know the struggle. I had relapses too. Like, and none of that kind of hits them. They can go through that because of their own reasons. They have so much resilience in those areas. But then there's other spouses where maybe they just discovered this and they've learned it's been like a 20-year secret you've been hiding.
And it's a betrayal.
And they're shattered.
Yeah.
And you have that on top of the withdrawal as well to deal with. So it can be a very tough season. This part of recovery. But again, like people get through this. You can get through it too. And if we'll get a little bit into supports and stuff, but if you really feel like you don't have the resources, like this is when it's time to find out what resources are available to you and reach out and get that extra support. Yeah, to help you.
Even if you feel like hiding and withdrawing.
Yeah.
It's better to reach for resources.
Yes, 100%.
This can sound pretty overwhelming, like for someone who's in the midst of this. Like I know I joked about a man cold, but like honestly, all those flu symptoms going on, the headaches, the insomnia, I'm not sleeping, I'm moody, I'm having mood swings, I am numb, I feel like I'm depressed. I mean, like it's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is.
So what can someone do, or like what's kind of a first step that a person can take to get through this?
The first step to take is actually just to kind of grab onto a little bit of hope, which is that your brain developed a neural pathway around this habit, but your brain has a lot of neuroplasticity and it can rewire. And yes, when you take an addiction out, the start of that rewiring process can be very rough seas, but your brain will adjust. It can accommodate so that you don't get the hangry signals for the porn anymore. And it learns to feed itself like the serotonin and the dopamine through healthy means, through healthy connections, through good things like that. So that's like, hold on to that good news is that, yeah, this is tough, but your brain is rewiring and it will rewire and it can heal. So there's hope to get through this.
Right. So that's kind of the first step, is just like trusting that you can get through it and that there is hope.
For sure. And then the other thing that we want to tell you about is to know too, is like, you don't have to go through this alone. So there are professionals who specialize in pornography addiction recovery. You can get access to that on multiple levels. Like if you want, you can just listen to people like us talking about it on podcasts, try to find counselors or people who have been down this road before you, at least, who understand it, who experience it. They're not just going to moralize it, but they can help you understand the steps of this journey. You can get into groups. There's free groups. There's low-cost groups available online where you can be with other people who are recovering at the same time as you. They can normalize these things. They can become like your band of brothers or your band of sisters around this as you're going through the struggle. And then, of course, we're a counseling agency, and we have people on our team who are trained in the pornography treatment protocol that I developed that's been very effective to help people break free from pornography and get into a well-established sobriety. And that kind of one-on-one help really can help you get into the mechanics of what's underneath this addiction and what is driving this addiction, and get into a well-established sobriety that is lasting, and do the work that helps you get reconnected to the people who are important to your life, the values that you want to live by, the things that you enjoy, so that it can be a life-transforming experience to seek that kind of treatment. And we'd invite you to do that on our site at therapivo.com. Just go ahead there and you'll see a menu option. You can look at porn addiction counseling. We have a page just for that. And we have a button on there where you can book a consult with one of our team members. It's a free 20-minute call to learn more about how this might be particularly helpful for you. So that's recommendations we love to make, for sure.
So is there anything that we can do to help alleviate these symptoms?
Yeah, great question. So this is a great opportunity for people to think about their health overall, right? So the symptoms you're seeing are identifies the illness of the addiction, if I can put it that way. But sometimes we like to talk to people even just about simple things like, is there a third of your plate that's green and at least one meal a day? Right? Can we talk about your sleep hygiene? Like how you're doing for having a bedtime and a wake up time, and your room is dark and there's no distractions in the room and stuff like that. It's a good time to review self-care, habits that you're doing, things that maybe you did in the past when you were feeling good. Did you enjoy going to the gym? Did you enjoy jogging, cycling, playing pickleball with people? I don't know. What were those things? And kind of coming back to many of those items as well. It's a chance to think about your environment. Just tidying your room or your office, your desk, your car. Will that kind of give you a little bit of one spot of peace, of calm that you can enjoy once a day? Are there habits of journaling, meditation, mindfulness, that kind of stuff that you've enjoyed the past that now this would be a good time to go back to those kinds of items? Picking up on friendships, getting in a group, doing some work on your romantic relationship too, if you're partnered up. It could be a great time to think about any one of those options. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Just begin to layer back into them, put the little things in place, go for the low-hanging fruit. But these are all great things that you can do so that it's not just about the withdrawal symptoms, but it's about the new things that you can begin to put back in your life, because now you've got more time. You're going to start getting more energy. It'll pivot to something really beautiful.
I like that, because then even in those tough moments, it's I don't have to necessarily focus on how hard it is, but focus that there's something better coming.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're just getting hammered with man, I just want to look at porn so bad right now, I'm going to go to the gym and go just crush out some weights. Go outside, stand in the grass and just feel the grass on your feet. You know what I mean? So make a different choice, a choice that leaves you feeling whole, grounded, calmer, those kinds of things. Yeah. And some self-compassion of, this is really hard right now. Of course it's hard right now. This thing has been a big part of my life. It's been a supporter, an unhelpful supporter for a long time.
And you'll need to have the self-compassion because you might not get partner compassion.
Yeah.
If they've been so hurt by that, right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, Caleb, thanks for your expertise on this. Do you have more to share here?
Not to share here.
Okay.
This is a large topic, but I think that's probably
good. It's a huge topic. And so we are going to come back and we are going to have a Q&A with Caleb on this topic.
Yeah. So this is coming out on Monday, and then it'll be a week from Thursday.
So almost 2 weeks then. So yeah, if you have a question about this, drop it in the comments below.
Yeah, if you're listening to us on your podcast player, we are taking comment or questions through the comments section on YouTube. So if you find us on YouTube, look up this show. Or if you're listening to us on YouTube right now, just leave your question in the comments section below. And when we record in a little while, before that Thursday Q&A, we'll include those questions and try to get them answered there. So yeah, thank you so much for staying all the way through this. Please do remember to be compassionate with yourself. And it can be really hard, but again, you can get through this. It's a cloud. It's not a cloud to the end of your life. I don't know how deep it's going to be for you. It might be a few more days. It might be a couple weeks, but it certainly will not be a long time. And you can get through it. You can get through it. And if we can be of any support to you during that journey, we'd love for you to reach out. But otherwise, we'll see you again in a few days when we release our next video, speaking to partners of porn addicts.